So as you guys know, I'm teaching now. I was trained by Dr. Courtney Brown himself. I was trained for 9 months straight. And so I took his tactics and just moved in the way that I move within remote viewing to create a way to teach you guys that was easier for me to learn. And so that's what I've been doing here now with PrinCess Views. And that's what I've been doing here now with PrinCess Views. I wanted to go through, again, I'm holding classes. This June 8th, I have a group course that still has a few openings. So email me at princessviewsgmail.com. If you guys are interested in that. I wanted to go over a few things that I do. Just teaching meditation and the procedures that I go through with each one. If you guys have any questions and I miss them, just type them again. And, oh, wow. Just type them again and I'll see it. So we have stages here with our Farsight process, with the Farsight scientific remote viewing. It's a lot different. I know some of you know about all the different variations of remote viewing. So we have a few different procedures here. Everyone says, oh, I'm very intuitive. So how can I learn how to do this? How can I learn how to do this? I'm able to see across time and space in my dreams. I want to learn how to do it. I want to learn how to do it. So I teach it. And we have things called stages. The first one is the procedure. It's where the viewer basically goes through the steps of basic ideograms. And right now, no, you can't have an online course right now, but I do have online courses available as the pandemic is going on. I will not be doing in-person courses anytime soon with all the traveling. But I just want to talk you guys through some of the steps that I do teach with you guys that I can do online. And again, it's where the viewer and the monitor, pretty much they go through basic steps of ideograms, affirmations. We have an affirmation that we say every single day before each session after meditation, which is very important. We go through the meanings of the vocabulary words. And the reason we have vocabulary words is pretty much because sometimes you get stuck. You have a brain fart. You get stuck and it's like, I don't know what I'm looking for. I don't know what I'm seeking. So Dr. Courtney Brown created that to help us better in saying, hey, look for these things maybe, and then we'll go from here. And so pretty much just familiarize you with that. After that, the goal is to really get you to maybe see a target soon. And so your first target, the instructor, which would be me, and the monitor session, pretty much I help you learn to pay close details to to what you're doing in that moment, to how you're feeling. So pretty much learning how to feel within your body, knowing what an intuition feels like, or I feel this, I feel that. You guys are going in. I feel this, I feel that, and what feelings put in the words may look like. I'll teach you how to focus on when you're hot, how does your body in this plane feels, or when you're cold, how does your body on this plane feel, what your mind goes through. And so I help you pretty much hone in on that and what it feels like to perceive. After that, we have another stage 3, what we call stage 3, which are, practice sessions. I'll bring you through practice sessions. I'm going to biolocate and deep. That happens to me too. Viv Lucky. That still happens. However, there are ways to get around it through learning how to be mechanical about the process. And that's a really good thing that definitely does happen when you're trying to bilocate. There's going to be something there that definitely doesn't want you to, you to see what they're seeing. It's the truth. No one wants anyone to know all of the truth. So remote viewing is all of the truth. But with that's why we teach within this, and with our practice sessions, the goal is to help you understand just the process and the movement about it, and which moves us to our movement after we finally know what it feels like to perceive, and you become more confident in what you're feeling. It's pretty much like believing in yourself. If you believe in magic, you should be able to believe in yourself. If you believe in time traveling, you should be able to believe in yourself. So it's pretty much just remembering that overall, and putting that on paper, putting that on the whiteboard, putting that in words. Sometimes you can't put memories into words. And as the practice sessions continue, again, you will slowly be able to say, okay, this is what I'm perceiving. This is what I'm feeling. This is what I'm hearing. And we may not be able to hone in on that whole thing, which is why everything's a spider web. Everything, it opens up. You have 2 dots and it just peeks out and it opens up into multitude of things. And once we get there, I start to teach you guys movement exercises, which would be, it teaches awareness and the position in where you are. So if you want to look down, if you want to go up and look down, how that would work. If you want to look at everything at a wide span, if you want to zoom in and look close up or turn the lights on because it's too dark, I'll start working with you on how to do that. And that would be our stage 4. Our stage 5 is a deep mind probe. It's when I notice that you're making progress within the procedures, I start to introduce that when you're getting people. What are they thinking? How do they feel? What type of person are you? What type of person are they? How do you want to be around that person? And how that look like overall. And we'll start to deep mind probe moving into that. I'm going to look at some of these questions here. I see a lot of them going on. If you guys send me an email, I will email you the fees and how that works, the different classes that I have, and that way you can remember them all. Cifrio, did I believe in extraterrestrials before I started to remote view? Yes. Yes, I did. I just didn't know if I'd seen one or if I had an overactive imagination. My mom always told me I was an alien, and then my dad told me he was green with his veins when I was younger. So like my whole life I was like, I'm an alien. Like I started freaking out for a little bit, but I began to just move forward with it. If I'm an alien, I'm gonna be a darn good one, How many clients do I train? How many clients did you train who currently work for Farsight? I trained Trudy and Kamaya. I assisted in monitoring and training with Melina. Courtney taught me everything I know, and we had to give him a break. You guys are going in. No, okay, I do not use a whiteboard like the other viewers. I started off using whiteboard like the other viewers. My vision in this realm isn't necessarily the clearest. I have hard contacts when I'm on camera. My glasses are thick as Coke bottles. And it's really hard for me to see. So sometimes my perception on vision is a lot different. And so I struggle to draw, but I can feel. And I'm really good at describing what I'm feeling. I'm able to use my entire body as a different perception than what my pen can do. And there were times when Dr. Courtney Brown, while I was learning, he would cover my eyes. And so now I do things with my eyes, or without sound, or without vision, just different tactics here and there that worked better for me personally. Hi, yes, I do have a son. If he wants to learn, I will teach him. It says, would I teach my child? I would teach him if he wanted to learn. I wouldn't force it on him. He's a very inquisitive being naturally, so I'm pretty sure he's going to find it and figure it out on his own. This says, is the blind thing a rumor? I don't understand that question. Are you talking about me being blind? Like me not being able to see, or remote viewing blind? Hopefully I can see that when it pops back up. It says, what did you actually see in remote viewing? Visuals, like watching TV. It's not like watching TV for me. Everyone is very, very different. However, okay, two good questions. I'm gonna attest to both of those. This one says, if you talk to aliens from the past, you can change the future this way. Why don't we? So first things first is, I am able to communicate with them, but that doesn't mean they're gonna give me all of that information. And it takes more than one person to change the future. It takes more than one person to change the world. And that's why I am opening up training for this, because I can't do this by myself. Farsight can't do this by themselves. That's why we have a team. It takes a team of like-minded individuals to be able to make a difference somewhere. So, if everybody listen to me, put me on CNN, cool. I might be able to, but I can't personally change the future. Viewer meaning, okay, so the target is blind for the viewer, and the viewer doesn't get to know what he or she's viewing beforehand. No, I do not get to know anything about what I'm viewing. I might know I'm doing a mysteries, which means I'm probably going to be in it a long time. I may know if I'm doing currency, like the style of what I'm working on. That way I know which template to grab. But I don't know what I'm doing. Usually midway through, I'm cussing Courtney out, like, where am I? What am I doing? And he's like, just keep going. And I'm like, you're vague. So there's a whole aspect about that. Staying blind is the best, most important thing possible within this. I'm going to look at some more questions in a few. I need a pen. Because I want to write down some of these questions as they pop up while I'm addressing them. Thank you. Worst experience. The experience. I'm going to touch on that in just a second too. I have a couple of more stages that, again, I will email you guys if you guys email me about this, and then I'm going to answer some more questions. Again, after I talked about stage 5, which was our deep mind probes, we move on to our stage 6. This is a process. It's over time. Visuals, mother tongue. I want you to ask that again. Okay, cool. I'll ask that too. Speed, efficiency, and equality practice. So once our stage 6 is about speed. The longer you take, the quicker your conscious mind rolls in. The faster you go, you can kind of beat your conscious mind from make-believing, or from just jumbling things up, or becoming what you want them to be because of a dream you had last night, or a show you watch, because I have an overactive imagination and that happens. Sometimes I watch a show late at night and I'll go in the morning. You guys are great. I love your questions. I'm going to do my best to get to all of them. They're all moving by so fast. But the speed and efficiency practice is pretty much getting you to complete a full session within an hour to an hour and 15 minutes. Sometimes I'm able to do a session in 30 minutes, depending on everything. Sometimes I'm able to do a session. Sometimes it takes me 2 hours, which for me, I get really tired after that. So the efficiency is to get you moving and going and learning how to just bounce around until you figure out and find out and spread out. And my last stage here that I'm actually going to talk to you guys about today, which again, I'll get more into when you take my class, is large scale targets. So after practice sessions, you will attempt to complete a session on your own without any guidance from me. The target will be revealed afterwards, of course, after you move through everything. And then you should be able to feel comfortable in moving on your own. You should be able to feel comfortable in bridging through demons versus aliens. I'll get you guys later too. How many hours a day? But the large scale targets will pretty much have you at a level of experience where you can at least go in on your own and go through the procedures that you were taught and move. And of course, and get the basis of everything on your own without me being baby stepping it with you or being over your shoulder. And then after that, we will expand and we will move forward on that. And that's again how I was taught. This is how I was trained. And and this is how I was trained. This is how I teach. And I use some of the tactics that worked better for me individually to insert. And I create more tactics because every student is different. And so when I personally teach you guys, I take how you were easily taught and I put that into the mixture of what I'm doing because there's more than one way to figure something out. There's more than one way to answer a question, even as it being the truth. And so I'll move into all of that and go forward with that. And these are my stages. And again, as I'm answering questions, I'll keep bouncing back and forth so that you guys can just get a feel for everything. And again, remember, you can email me at princessviews@gmail.com. And I'll answer questions. I'll give you my courses and how they work. And you'll get way more information on this upon an email and be able to move forward with you on that. Yes, so this says my worst RV experience. My worst RV experience, I can't necessarily pinpoint what my worst was because they're all informative. But the one that made me feel, energetically, sad, I did Jack the Ripper one time, and that really kind of got to me emotionally. It was a lot to be able to be on, deep mind probing, being able to be on both ends of thing and seeing something happen to someone and something doing it and seeing from their perspective. So for me, I don't know what happens on for every other viewer because that's in their mind. But for me, I almost see through their eyes like I'm the one doing. And so with Jack the Ripper, it was like I was the one doing, and that really kind of weighed on me. And then going to the other mind, it was like it was happening to me. And so it was a lot that I had to separate from that, from reality and bilocating. Are you not afraid to tick someone off when you change things in the future? I'm not changing things. I don't have time for any being to come to me knocking on my door trying to figure out why I did what I did. I'm staying in my lane, and together we can change the future by being different and doing different, not messing with the timeline. I will never mess with a timeline. That's supposed to happen. There was a moment when, what made my skin crawl? There were moments when, I think I remote viewed something happening. I can't remember the exact session, but it was when I used to do Time Cross, and there was a girl or these girls that were kept hostage over time. And the thing was a news article. So that means these girls came out and told their story, and some of them lived, but I saw it happening. And in my brain, I'm like, this is going to happen. If this is happening in the future, why can't I find her and save her? Like, I lost it. I was hysterical, and I had to be calmed down. I was upset because I'm like, I want to help this girl. But of course, I don't know exactly what's happening or where people are or what can be done and in the moment of remote viewing. So by the time it's happened, it's already been done in another timeline. I can't stop it from happening. How can SRV be learned if the mother tongue is not English? Is there an obstacle, especially that we are talking about establishing a relationship between us and the mind in the subspace? So all language starts somewhere. If you think about babies, they can grab onto any language and know exactly what's being talked about as it's forming, as it's happening, as they're growing. While the mother tongue may be English, our minds can transform or transcend into any tongue that we think of, if you put your mind to that. And so because we're in our subspace and the subconscious, our higher self knows all, is all, and does all. It's able to project itself past, present, and future and into realms that in dimensions that are not where I'm currently sitting today. So if your higher mind is able to do that, it's able to understand all things. But our first initial thing is ideograms, and ideogram is a picture, a shape, a feeling that no matter what language you speak, you can learn. And you know what fresh bread smells like. You know what the ocean smells like. You know what it smells like to be near a trash can or a swamp or a dump. It doesn't smell good or it doesn't smell bad. And however that translates in your language is what that would be. It still end up being the same perception. If I were sitting next to someone who only spoke Swahili, if I was sitting next to someone who only spoke French, if I was sitting next to someone who spoke Russian, we'd all be able to get the same information with the training. Now, what would be better is if I was able to speak, I could teach in different languages, but the initial task is your perception. So if you know what land is, regardless of how you say it, is what land is. Everything is, it's all the same. Do I eat meat? No, I don't eat meat. However, that does not stop you from remote viewing. I don't know why that question was asked, if there was an underlying question with it. I've been vegetarian since the age of 10. So I've been vegetarian my whole life, well before remote viewing. I recently, over time, became pescatarian. And so every now and again, I will eat fish, but I'm very limited on my carnivorous intake. Does your third eye have to be active? Our third eye, if you're open, your third eye is active. It doesn't necessarily have to be active by law of wording, of words. You just have to be open. And once you open, your eyes open. Once you feel and you open all of you, you see all things. So in a sense, it allows your third eye to be active. When I'm remote viewing, I listen to music to distract my conscious mind, but that's not something that everyone needs to do. And so there are times when just on a regular day, my thing is a third eye meditation to make sure I am keeping myself open. But that's not a necessity. The other viewers at Farsight do not do that. The other viewers at Farsight have their own thing that help, but our third eye is open once you allow it to be, once you feel what you're feeling. So it's not something of before you can start, then you have to do. It's not one of those things. Demons versus aliens. That was a dope question. How are they different? Well, that's just like saying a boy versus a girl, or a woman versus a child. Everything is different, you know? Everything is the same. Thank you. Mermaid, thank you. No, because you're an alien does not mean you are a demon. Because you are a demon does not mean you can be an alien. Demons are soulless. They don't have souls. An alien is just another being that's alive in its own form. And so, no, those are not the same thing. That was a pretty dope question, because no, just because you're an alien does not mean you are a bad being. It does not mean that you are set out to harm. How many hours? So initially I trained, this is a science. It's called scientific remote viewing. And a science is never done. You know, with science, you're always learning, you're always exploring, you're always experimenting and experiencing. And so my initial few hours, you know, it took me about, it varied. It varied over time. Preparation is what takes the most time. You know, to learn to remote view takes, you know, about 2 hours a day tops, you know, 2 hours a day to learn. Your mind can't go much further. You know, I did mine every 3 days a week for 9 months to just begin to get to my full time of things. But my hours varied. You know, I take the time to make sure I'm smiling. You know, that's the thing. Your day should be consumed with how you're going to be before you remote view. So I make sure that I sleep well. You know, that takes time. I make sure that I've eaten well. That's, you know, another hour or so of my day. I make sure that I'm hydrated and I'm emotionally stable. You know, if I have to cry it out, got to cry it out. If I got to scream it out, I got to scream it out. If I want to laugh or I want to hug, you know, you got to get one because you can't without it. And, you know, that takes that time. And my meditations, you know, everybody meditates differently. In the beginning, you know, it's suggested to meditate, you know, 30 minutes to an hour. I personally suggest 45 minutes, you know, to an hour for newcomers to learn or for people to really hone in, because we forget that we're meditating at times and we start to visualize and think about what I'm about to cook for dinner. And so my first 30 minutes of meditation is me getting all the things out of my head. What did my son do? What color do I want to wear today? Girly things. I didn't eat enough breakfast. You know, a dream I had, a vision. Don't stop. Keep meditating. You know, that takes time. And I love you too. That takes time, and you move forward. And then I meditate for 3 hours a day, you know, but that's me, between 1 to 3 hours, because I like to be in the zone. So that's up to you, you know, 30 minutes, 3 hours if you're an avid meditator. And how do you go? How do you go forward? And then bam, that was 5 hours of my day. And the next 2 to 3 hours is me doing a remote viewing project. So before I even start remote viewing or even thinking about my project, I'm taking care of myself first in preparation for that. So how many hours does it take? How many hours does it take for you to take care of you? Is the answer to that question. It varies per person. There were more. Hold something in my hand. Ha! That's a session. You know, that's a whole session. Come on. No, that's a whole session right there. You want me to do that? Email me. I missed that one. Let me scroll up. It's going so fast. Can y'all slow down? Can you remote view your own past life or the future? There are methods that can be done with assistance. You cannot do anything on your own with them. It's not recommended that you do any remote viewing on your own. So with more than one person, you can go, as long as you have verifiable data, you'll be able to move throughout the course of things. So maybe have someone else remote view your past life. With teaching, of course. Oh, why do aliens block? Why do aliens block? How about aliens block? I dig it. I dig your multiple way of doing that. That's smart. How and why do aliens block? I don't know how. I don't know why. I'm assuming it's because they're considered advanced and they are doing things in this realm and in the universe that they don't want us to know about, you know? Why do you block something? Why do we tell white lies? Why do we say, oh, nothing when something's wrong? Because there's a truth that nobody wants to get out. Or also, how did you get in here? You know, if I just jumped in your mind unauthorized and started like drilling you for no reason, you wouldn't want me in there. So, you know, I kind of get why they block. I kind of wish the nicer ETs would let me in more, or easier, I should say, because eventually I get through. Farsight has an anti-blocking technique that they use, that we use. And so, you know, hopefully they'll stop blocking me. So when the target number is generated, actually tasker programming the matrix to tap into the information. Since the number is random, what happens? The number itself is not a coordinate. It's not this number is tied to this tablet. It's not this number is tied to the mouse. It is a number to distract your conscious mind. It is like twiddling your thumbs, or maybe occupy your time with this so I can do this. It's a distraction. It's what do the people call it? A decoy, you know? Ooh, focus on this over here while I do this over here so your higher mind can slip through the cracks. You know, that's what it's for. Can remote viewing help me in writing you know, I believe that remote viewing can help you in writing your creative content. A lot of Dr. Courtney Brown's books were created through enduring and within remote viewing, to my knowledge. I hope I'm saying it properly. Of course, he'll tell you that better. With my teachings and with my personal experiences, it's broadened my horizons to be able to understand and see and create more. Trudy Benjamin, if you guys follow her, she's an amazing remote viewer, and she's got stories for days just based off of meditating before she remote views. And I want to make a movie out of that. So just, you know, everyone's different. I believe that it can help with your creative process. I've seen it work in various ways just through meditation. And I get a lot of my biggest ideas in what I do within the entertainment industry, as a model and singer and actor and dancer, to, you know, I get those visions randomly while I'm remote viewing something else, and I have to get it out of my head. So I have to write it down quickly so it can not be on my mind while I'm remote viewing. And so that's a thing. Yes. You just do it. How do you do it? You just do it. And I will say that a lot in remote viewing, you know, you just do it. Sometimes there isn't a how, it is just a does. How did I stumble upon remote viewing? The question is, how did remote viewing stumble across me? Courtney Brown found me, and you know, we're in an artist community together, and he underwater ET bases. I can't read it fast enough, but I will go through these things later on and check them out. But Courtney Brown found me at an art studio, and we both went there frequently years ago. And, I guess he realized I was an open mind, and he asked me, did I want to learn? And I was like, I guess. Didn't know what remote viewing was from Adam or Eve until I did my research and my studying. And I watched Dick and Daz, I watched their videos, and I was like, this is some weird crap. I wanted to say another word. It was weird. And I was like, okay, what is remote viewing? And I eventually found a multitude of ways to learn and practice through Dr. Courtney Brown assisting me and teaching me, taking the time to teach me these things. And, after that, I became obsessed with it, much like I think you guys are obsessed with it, I became like, I have to know, what is this? How does this? Add me to this group. I got to know what's happening here. And it became a thing, First, I was doing it because why not? New thing. And then I started doing it because I saw, and that's when I started taking it more serious. I saw what was happening. I saw things that didn't make sense. I saw a picture that I put on a piece of paper that Courtney didn't even choose yet. It was so much. How do they assign the target numbers? You can go on, they're literally random. I can literally make them up right now and be like, cool, 345-78213. Or I can go to farsight.org and free SRV. And there's literally a random target generator. It's like putting numbers in a hat and pulling them out. It's that simple. Blessings from the whole rabbit crew. You are an inspiration. Hey, whole rabbit crew. Thank you guys. I'm going to check you guys out. Let me write that down. What is the whole rabbit crew? What is that? That sounds pretty dope. I wish you could remote view to how the emerald tablets of Thoth came to be, Maybe if you email these things to Courtney, one day he'll give it to us. Or I can teach you and a partner how to remote view, and you guys can throw things in there and move with that. I love y'all too. Y'all so great. You guys are awesome. Did you have psychic experiences before starting? Okay, so yes and no. Did I have psychic experiences before starting? Ask me the Christ question again, because I can't see it. It went by too fast. Whoever asked that. But yes and no. But I didn't know that's what it was. I am empathic. I have been empathic since a child. And so I would have dreams, or what I now know is a vision. I would daydream a lot, but those things would be things that had happened. It started off with seeing things about my mom, and it used to scare me because, I'm in the 6th grade, and that's weird. And, I think so. Let me ask the ET's remote viewing. Views me. I'm gonna try to get to all you guys, but I never would have called them psychic ability. I don't necessarily call this psychic ability. There are parallel universes. Yes, I believe in that. Don't know if I've been to one. Maybe I have, but there are. And so just seeing little things as a little girl, it used to scare me. So I would never call them psychic abilities. But have I been intuitive? Yes, my whole life. Have I been able to, what I now call deep mind probing, deep mind probe people? Yeah, being an empath, I am able to touch someone and understand and feel something within them. And of course, you then ask questions. If you think about it, science is everywhere. If you think about it, remote viewing is everywhere within your life. Once you start understanding and doing it, you start making those connections in your past and in your present, and as things are happening. Oh, some people they don't have a mind's eye and can't see anything in their mind. Would there be a remote view? What in the world? I've not encountered that with that question about not having a mind's eye. But I've not encountered that. Yet. I do know that it's not about your mind's eye sometimes, it's about your feeling. And with SRV, because it's scientific, there is a template, which means someone asked the Moses question again, please. I'm going to come back around to it. I didn't see it all the way. Oh, the experience and religion. That's a good question. Religion, Moses. But where was I? Sorry. It's about feeling, and because it's scientific remote viewing, you can use a template. So once you become mechanical, sometimes you can do it mechanical, and it's just I'm going to do what's asked of me. So when you get the template, it's once you learn the process, it's all about following the steps. It's simple because we can all do it. Everybody's capable of doing it. You have to want to. How do I heal after traumatic viewings? Is that covered in my course? That is not covered in my course. And mainly that's because I'm just now getting used to that. That is something that I do talk about initially. It's really all about meditation, I think that everybody needs therapy of some sort, or someone to talk to, or a friend. And so, love is a big aspect of things, while Courtney Brown is my director, he's also my friend, and so he's there for all of us, just energetically, and and he loves us. And so he pours into us. Our, people at our homes pour into us. My partner pours into me, my mother, it's a whole thing about being able to pour back into yourself in meditation and clearing, remembering. It's all, you don't have to do anything drastic, but you do need to have someone to talk to talk it out with. If I have a traumatic experience, also taking a break. It's recommended that you take, a couple of weeks off every now and again once you've been going in. Love you guys too. You guys are great. And you move from there. I'm still learning. And in this process, Courtney is also still learning. We're all still learning because this is a forever learning process. So healing is a thing. I personally do healing journeys every season, every so often when I can. I take precautions to heal myself. I sleep. I make sure that make sure I'm around people that care about me, that are not toxic. I sing, you dance when no one's watching. That's how you heal. Do you see images, flashes, or how? Yes, we do. I see them. It's sort of vague sometimes. And sometimes it's drastic. You draw it down, you write it down. Sometimes it comes in a dream. There was a question, ET's remote viewing me. I don't know if that's what happens. However, there have been experiences with viewers that I do know that are like, this absurd, crazy thing happened, inserts list of visuals or things and feelings of other beings being in the atmosphere around you. And it's like, that's happened. Is that what that is? Maybe, maybe not. I don't have a direct answer for that, but I really like that question. It's going to make me pay more attention. Moses. Okay. I didn't get to read the whole question, but I'm going to paraphrase it to the best of my abilities. Are there aliens on Earth? Yes, there are aliens on Earth. There are aliens all around. What they look like, who knows? Can someone tell if they're being mind probed? I don't know personally. The people that have mind probed have not told me. I don't know. Aliens, ETs, or beings that are non-human, yes, they definitely can. And they will stare you in your eyes like, get out my head. Or, how did you get here? I'm going to hide. Maybe if I stand still, she won't see me. I get that sometimes. I do like the Bashar experience. That was one of my favorite experiences. Bashar, as far as Moses and has your experience, RV, Christ and Moses change your opinion on your religion? So I didn't necessarily remote view Christ. I did in his form. I did remote view Moses. I did also go into the War of Heaven. If you guys have seen in the War in Heaven trailer, you'll see me hold up a piece of paper to my face. And in that moment, I'm crying. Nobody knew though. Not Courtney didn't know, Melina didn't know, no one knew in that moment. In that moment, I'm crying because it was overwhelming. It was a lot for me being raised as a Christian in a super Christian household. I'm 12 years old riding the bus, preaching the word, like it was a little almost traumatizing and also beautiful because like, oh, is the movie Heaven is for real. Like, okay, what we're told is a variation of everyone else's experience. And so it didn't necessarily change my views on religion. It did, however, allow me to have the space to add to my views about religion and spirituality within itself. As I continued talking about it, when I went to Moses, that did kind of get me though, because I was like, okay, pardon the Red Seas, Almighty God, a rock, aliens, what's happening? A plague. Like it was a whole lot happening in my head in that moment. And I want to go more into things about the Bible. I do want to know the truth. I do know that it's been translated over and over and over again. And within that translation, things get mixed up and misconstrued and reiterated, much like if you see me, Trudy Ann, Kamaya, Melina, and Aziz on one project, we're all on the same project, but we have different versions of the same thing. And so it allowed me to understand that more. Is there a way to avoid death traps? Did you watch it? Did you watch it? I don't know what everyone else got, but the way to avoid death traps is by remembering not to follow the light, apparently. That's what I got from it. Kind of just go into it. There are people that fell into the trap. There are people that did not fall into the trap. And so the ones that were stuck in that cycle of polarization, they followed that light. That was the one that followed the light. So even they're like walking to the light, that whole get up, I saw the light. I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm hoping that that's the right thing to do. I can't tell you how to avoid it. I can tell you what I learned in the process of figuring out what happens. What happens when you die? Go watch Death Traps and find out. It's a lot to talk about. That was very interesting. But your soul does go on. That I can assure you. Bashar. That was one of the best experiences. Can we buy a copy of Death Traps like War in Heaven? Yes, you can. You can buy a copy of Death Traps like War in Heaven. I believe. I'm gonna double check with Courtney. Like a physical copy? Is that what you're asking? Email me that question, whomever asked that. Bashar, again, he was my favorite. I hope that he does remote view me or comes to talk to me in any type of vision. I don't even want to call him a he. I hope that Bashar, they were so powerful. They didn't really have a gender. But I hope that Bashar communicates with me again in any form, because they were amazing. Bashar was an amazing being, and just jumping into the mind of something so omnipotent and watching how he controlled, or I don't want to even say controlled, but how he utilized the body of the man that he chooses to channel. That whole utilization was amazing to me. And feeling him channel me in the process of remote viewing was an amazing experience. I will see if we can buy buy a downloaded copy of the death traps. I believe that that is something that can be made possible. People with that particular question, email me at princessviews@gmail.com again, so that I can remember all of these things. Will you be running the whole Farsight thing when it's time? Who knows? I do know that he trusts me, and I do know that Aziz and I are working on broadening this the best that we can. So, I do hope to be able to have a piece of Farsight in my life in that way. I'm not religious. Oh, it's moving so quickly. AJ, I like your background. I am interested in that too. I'm interested in King James having Bible translated to English by Sir Francis Bacon, who was actually the writer, because no one wrote like that but him at the time. Meanwhile, Shakespeare was illiterate. I don't know. That'd be a good thing to remote view. That'd be a very good thing to remote view. Oh, touch the screen to slow it down. Thanks. The fin. I'm uncertain. It depends on the type of questions. Am I allowed to answer questions about forest fin? Go definitely watch that. We'll talk about that. We'll be able to talk about it depending on the question. So email me that. How long was it before I was able to see things in remote viewing after I started learning? Immediately. It's almost taught immediately, I was very innocent to remote viewing at the time, so I didn't have that I know things about remote viewing aspect. Because sometimes that can jump in the way, or I know I'm intuitive, so I know that I'm right. I didn't have that. That's a thing that we have to be humble in order to see. You have to humble yourself to see beyond measures. And so the very first thing I ever remote viewed was a mountain with a river. I saw it and I drew it. And I was like, this is what I see. Am I right? Am I wrong? Where am I? Then I thought Courtney was playing with my head. That's a coincidence. So he kept taking me into different things. And I was like, oh, cool. I'm seeing these things. It's amazing. You went down into the wabbit's hole. How do I go into the wabbit's hole? The intention set into the coordinates affect the views. Oh, the intention set into the coordinates. The intent on the project. It's not about the coordinates. The coordinates is just a distraction. So if Courtney knows I'm going to Mars, that's telepathic connection. And if and that's backstory. So backstory is, for Courtney, the tasker, blah, blase, blase, blah. For me, the viewer, it's just backstory. So now Courtney has connected himself to me, to what backstory will be in the future or in that moment. Something that has and has not happened because time does not exist. And it's as long as I'm writing down what I'm supposed to write down. So as long as I dress my paper appropriately, my intention is to go there, where I'm supposed to go. Go where I'm supposed to go. Your mindset is what affects the remote viewing. Is it harder for people with, I don't know. Is it harder for people with scientific backgrounds to remote view? I think it's harder for anyone who's gonna be analytical. And this is coming from an analytical person. I literally analyze every aspect of my life down to the way I ordered my essential oils and why. So Once you learn to let go, you can do anything. Your background is not what makes it difficult. It's your you is what makes it different. I have 5 more minutes left to do this, and I'm gonna take some more questions. If you have any more questions, you got that shirt. What shirt did you get? Why do I fall asleep when meditating? Why do I fall asleep when meditating? Why do I fall asleep when meditating? You're in a relaxed state of mind, so you might not necessarily be asleep. You might be settling. Once you accept that that's what's happening, do I speak to any multidimensional beings? No, I do not. I have not. But once I ask the Ideogram question again after I finish this, once I accept that I'm remote, that I'm meditating, you have a mantra. So even if you do doze off because you're in a tranquil state, that's like sleep. And once you doze off, you know, when you recognize that it's happening or that you veered somewhere, you pick back up that mantra. So depending on what your mantra is, depending on what that mantra is, will be how you pull yourself back into things. Do you still use ideograms? Do they have to be different each target, or can it be the same? So you don't choose your ideogram. The ideogram chooses you. It comes to you. It's not something where I say, I'm going to use this ideogram for the target that I'm going to. The ideogram that comes out is yes, I use ideograms for one. It's required. It's what best helps us fall into it. Ideograms are not necessarily just what they are. They're labeled, which we will go through in my class. They also trace out the target. So sometimes if you have one of the ideograms and they're shaped like what they are, once you go in, you'll realize, okay, this is the tracing out. The ideogram just directs you to that moment. I do use them. I have room for one more question. So thank you so much. Thank you. That means a lot. The vibe is insane. Your soul shines super bright. Thank you so much. What was your favorite thing to remote view, or what something you really want to remote view? Okay, those are 2 good questions. What was my favorite remote viewing? Again, my favorite one was Bashar. My most interesting one was the War in Heaven, especially once I figured out that's where I was. I was like, ooh, look at this planet. It's colorful. I liked it. As far as the empaths, it can weigh on an empath energetically because I feel every emotion. And so, again, taking those precautions to make sure you heal as an empath is what works for that. But I thank you guys for all the questions. I'm going to be doing live stream soon again. If you guys need more time to ask for more questions, if you guys need more time to answer more questions, I'll be up here again, and remember what you asked, write them down, and I'll get to them. I'll get to all of them again. And if you guys are interested in courses or in just communicating about the things that you're seeing here, I again have a group course June 8th, the week of June 8th. I am still open. I still have a few slots left open, so email me about that. And if you want to talk about any of the other courses that I do have, that I also have open courses for 2-day courses, which are the lower route. So if you're interested in 2-day courses or group courses of any sort, email me at PrinCess princessviews@gmail.com. You can also find me on Instagram at PrincessViewsRV. Send me a message and I'll talk to you guys soon. You guys are wonderful.